Geico Motorcycle. Great rates for great rides.
Tonight, as we come on the air, the severe storms moving across much of the country and hitting New York City at this hour. The tornado watch for a time in the Northeast and thunderstorm watches right now across 10 states. From Philadelphia to New York to Boston, we're watching tonight. Ginger Z is standing by. Also breaking, the giant ash cloud tonight right above the crater they're so concerned about. Is there an explosion coming in Hawaii? Matt Gutman with the new concern tonight. We're also following North Korea's new warning at this hour, now threatening to cancel the summit between President Trump and Kim Jong-un. What the North wants stopped, and how will the White House respond? The FBI on the scene at this hour of a building explosion late today. Children rushed out of a daycare, holding hands. The video tonight, 8 police body cams all rolling at once as the officers are ambushed after being called to this home. Those officers now talking for the first time. New developments involving the father of the bride. Meghan Markle's father reportedly now saying he wants to go to the royal wedding after all. But now the new headline late today suggesting he could be going in for heart surgery.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a very busy Tuesday night. And we begin tonight with breaking news both on that volcano, new pictures coming in right now, and the severe storms moving through, watches in 10 states as we come on the air. Blasting through New York City just a short time ago, day turning into night in the shadow of the Empire State Building. We all watched as the city suddenly turned dark, storm clouds moving in and quickly. Hail slamming down in Saugerties, New York, forcing cars to the side of the road just as many head home from work. Hundreds of flights canceled and delayed at this hour, thousands without power. ABC's Gio Benitez leading us off.
Tonight, powerful storms lashing the Northeast. On Interstate 87 in New York, torrential rain making it impossible to see. Tractor trailers smashing, workers racing to clear trees from the roadway. Hail, some of it tennis ball sized, destroying windshields.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, look at the whole truck.
Those storm clouds rolling into New York City.
This is a really dangerous situation as we go into the early evening hours.
Wind gusts downing trees and knocking out power for almost 500,000 customers across the region. Overnight, powerful straight-line winds pummeling the mid-Atlantic. Tornado warnings and wind gusts topping 60 miles an hour at Dulles Airport. Travelers there forced to hide underground. Lightning sparked this house fire. Our David Curley on the scene.
And you can see it struck this roof here in Tacoma Park. It caused quite a fire. 70 firefighters basically had to empty out that attic so that they could get this blaze out.
Further west, hail turned roads into rivers near Denver. And 4 tornadoes reported in Kansas.
Just extraordinary pictures coming in at this hour. We can see the commute home there behind you, Gio. He's live on New York's West Side Highway tonight. A rough ride for millions. And Gio, you're already seeing flights affected here in the Northeast.
That's right, David. Hundreds of flights have already been delayed or canceled here in the Northeast. That number is only growing, but I got to tell you, the wind here was so strong. Come over here just so you can see this. While we were standing here this afternoon, look at what the wind did to this massive light post here, David.
All right, Gio Benitez leading us off tonight. Gio, thank you. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z, who's been in the newsroom with us all afternoon because you said this would come through and very quickly.
And the worst timing possible. I mean, we're right in the evening commute for millions of people. And let me take you to the map because Philadelphia is getting hit as we speak, David, all the way up through just south of Boston. And this line extends farther south. We just got a new severe thunderstorm watch that includes Baltimore and Washington, D.C., who went through this less than 24 hours ago. It is going to be a really ruckus night for them. And it's because it becomes a stationary front. Stationary is the epitome of the word. It just sits there and moisture pools up against it. So flash flooding overnight could be an issue. That low south in Florida causing already 6 inches of rain, up to 4 more.
Wow. But stationary tonight in the Northeast is going to be pounding through midday tomorrow. Gio and Ginger right here with us. Thanks to you both for leading us off. In the meantime, we're also following from Hawaii at this hour the breaking developments as we're on the air. A massive eruption right now of the Kilauea volcano underway. You can see the picture. Scientists had feared it was about to happen. And it comes as civil defense officials have declared a code red for the air quality there. We've talked about this near the many active fissures with that lava coming up right through them. Let's go live to ABC's chief national correspondent Matt Gutman tonight, and you can see those giant ash clouds right there behind you, Matt.
That's right, David, and we've been watching them erupt again and again over the past couple of hours that we've been here. And the volcanologists that we have spoken to said that these are the biggest explosive blasts they've seen at Kilauea in about a century.
Tonight, the start of the main eruption scientists predicted blackening the sky over Kilauea. That stack of ash towering up to 4,000 feet. And tonight, new warnings about those fissures. A 20th fissure cracking open the earth and pumping out clouds of sulfur dioxide. Officials here declaring a condition red in parts of the Big Island, with the gas posing an immediate danger to health. We drove through that haze with resident Herschel Hood, some of the roads impassable.
These plants haven't been burned. It is some of the fumes that have actually killed them over the past 10 days of continuous exposure to this hazardous gas.
At least 5 new eruptions since Saturday, rattling some 400 residents who stayed.
Literally shaking your house.
Oh, yeah. Every 5 seconds. Boom, boom.
Barely a half-mile away.
Those explosions of gas and rock setting those boulders hundreds of feet in the air, but you could also see the shock waves and the heat just radiating off the plane right there.
Much of that lava flowing from Kilauea, its cauldrons draining. Volcanologists warn that the lava is now finally starting to hit the water table, triggering an explosive eruption, which could blast rock and boulders from miles around.
All right, so let's get back to Matt tonight. And Matt, the National Weather Service now issuing a warning about that ash.
That's right, David. They're warning that the ash and gas that is building up across the entire sky right now is hazardous, and they're warning people who live nearby to avoid exposure to the outdoors. Now, those volcanologists are saying that could last for weeks, literally smothering parts of this island and closing down the airports. David.
Very active scene there in Hawaii tonight. Matt Gutman, our thanks to you again. And next this evening, the developing headline from Southern California at this hour, a deadly building explosion. The FBI is on the scene and investigating right now. People were seen in the moments after the blast in Aliso Viejo. Children at a nearby preschool ordered to evacuate. You can see them holding hands there. Tonight, as I mentioned, the FBI, the ATF, both at the scene, and authorities have not said what caused this explosion. Here's ABC's Kana Whitworth.
A deadly blast rocking the first floor of this Southern California medical building.
There was just an explosion from the inside of the building going out.
Firefighters racing to put out the flames.
We heard a very loud boom, and I actually felt the building shake. I could feel it while I was sitting in the chair. We actually could see where part of the building had blown out.
Children at daycare across the street evacuated. Infants still in their cribs rolled out by staff and police, then reuniting them with their parents at a nearby Target.
Investigators and hazmat are on scene checking hazards at this time. There were no children injured. This appears to be a building that's under construction at this time.
At least 1 person killed, 3 injured. Tonight, hazmat teams, ATF and FBI all on the scene investigating.
So let's get to Kana Whitworth with us as well tonight. And Kana, we know authorities have closed down that entire area while they investigate tonight.
Yeah, David, it is an expansive scene, and right now the bomb squad is going room to room in that building, making sure the community is safe. Still no word on what caused that explosion. David?
Terrifying afternoon for those children. Kana Whitworth, thank you. We're going to turn next to North Korea, signaling today what could halt that summit between President Trump and Kim Jong-un, what the North Koreans want stopped. ABC's Chief White House correspondent Jonathan Karl with how the White House is now responding at this hour.
At the triumphant late-night return of American prisoners, President Trump made it clear he has high hopes for his meeting with Kim Jong-un.
I really think he wants to do something and bring that country into the real world.
But today, a setback. Angry about annual joint U.S.-South Korea military exercises now underway, North Korea abruptly canceled a meeting with South Korea scheduled for tomorrow. The North Korean Central News Agency added this message: the United States will also have to undertake careful deliberations about the fate of the planned North Korea-U.S. summit in light of this provocative military ruckus. The development seemed to catch the State Department off guard. North Korea had agreed to let those military exercises proceed as the summit was being planned.
We have not heard anything from that government or the government of South Korea to indicate that we would not continue conducting these exercises.
It's a setback, but it's hard to tell how big a setback. There had been a remarkable thaw in U.S.-North Korea relations. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo greeting Kim Jong-un warmly in Pyongyang. The president was even asked about the Nobel Peace Prize.
Do you deserve the Nobel Prize, do you think? Everyone thinks so, but I would never say it.
And the White House raised expectations for the summit, even though it is only scheduled to last for a single day.
What does the president think can be done in a single day with Kim Jong-un?
Certainly the best outcome would be an agreement for complete and total denuclearization.
So let's get to John Carl. He's live at the White House for us again tonight. And John, bottom line here, North Korea had indicated that those military exercises between the U.S., the South, these joint exercises could continue in the run-up to this summit. But today, a very different message. Is there any indication President Trump would put those joint exercises on hold to get this summit underway?
There is no indication that the U.S. is willing to stop those exercises. The only word tonight on this comes from the press secretary, Sarah Sanders, who says the United States will continue to coordinate with our allies.
All right, we'll be watching this with you, John. In the meantime, I also wanted to ask you about First Lady Melania Trump, of course, admitted to Walter Reed Hospital yesterday. Her office saying she underwent a procedure to treat a, quote, benign kidney condition. It's still unclear exactly what that condition is, but the president visiting her again this afternoon, John?
The president spent a little over an hour with the First Lady at the hospital today. We are told that she is doing well and that she is in good spirits. The president himself said this morning she'll be coming home in 2 or 3 days. David.
Everyone hoping for a speedy recovery for the First Lady. John, thank you. Next to the Middle East tonight, after the U.S. Embassy dedication in Jerusalem, Palestinians burying their dead today. Some then returning to the border to protest, Israeli soldiers lobbing tear gas back at them. While at the UN here in New York, U.S. Ambassador Nikki Haley defending Israel and then walking out as the Palestinian representative was about to speak. Here's our chief foreign correspondent, Terry Moran, tonight.
Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner bidding Israel farewell today after opening the U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem, fanfare and fireworks. Their work now behind them. They also left behind this. More clashes throughout Gaza and the West Bank. In Bethlehem, Israeli forces firing tear gas from vehicle-mounted launchers. In Ramallah, we saw protesters hurling stones with slingshots in a running battle that lasted for hours.
This is now the front lines here. The Palestinians are throwing stones. The Israelis responding with tear gas and the occasional rubber bullet. There have been several injured, no fatalities.
In Gaza, 2 protesters were killed today, but it was more a day for grieving the 60 killed here yesterday. A baby suffocated by tear gas laid to rest. They draped their flag on the little body. At other funerals, anger and defiance. The Trump administration standing 100% behind Israel amid calls for an investigation of the violence. UN Ambassador Nikki Haley rejecting any suggestion that Israeli troops may have used excessive force.
No country in this chamber would act with more restraint than Israel has.
Then, as the Palestinian ambassador prepared to speak, Haley walked out.
So let's get to Terry Moran. He joins us live tonight from Jerusalem. And Terry, Nikki Haley refusing to criticize Israel. And she also refused to draw a parallel connection between the violence we've seen in the last 24 hours. In fact, saying it doesn't have anything to do with the location of the American embassy.
That's right, David. That is the position of the U.S. government. They also say that this shouldn't stop any peace talks. But Palestinians right now are rejecting all talks, though they feel utterly powerless right now. One man saying to me, what can we do to stop any of this? We just have to take it. David?
Terry Moran with us again tonight. Terry, thank you. And President Trump's nominee to head the CIA, Gina Haspel, is on track tonight now to be confirmed after she criticized the Bush-era enhanced interrogation program. Haspel refused to say that during her Senate hearing, but in a letter to a committee member, she wrote, quote, the enhanced interrogation program is not one the CIA should have undertaken. The United States must be an example to the rest of the world. Tonight, more Democrats now say they will vote to confirm her. There is still much more ahead on World News Tonight. This Tuesday, the deadly police ambush, 8 police body cams all rolling at once. The officers now talking for the first time. Also, new developments involving the royal wedding. Meghan Markle's father reportedly saying he wants to go. But now a late headline tonight involving possible heart surgery. The school teacher murdered in front of her parents' home. There is news coming in on the investigation tonight. And Made in America is back. America's Dairyland, a famous spot serving up old-fashioned milkshakes for decades, and their not-so-secret ingredient. You'll have to see the taste test. A lot more news ahead.
COPD makes it hard to breathe. So to breathe better, I go